Hey guys, Eric with Verus Engineering here, and today we're going to be installing our carbon side splitters on our shop 987.2. These side splitters do fit 987.1s as well. So first we'll be going over the tools that we need for the install, then the components, and then we'll actually get to the install. Also, we are going to be doing this install on the ground because it just makes it easier, in my opinion, because if you put it on the lift, you have the arms in the way, which here you don't have anything in the way, so it just makes it a little easier. Overall, this install doesn't require many tools for the install. We have a 4mm Allen wrench, a 10mm sock wrench. We have a drill and a drill bit, unless you have a Dremel with a router bit, and those two parts will be able to open these holes if they don't align 100% specifically with the OEM mounting points. And then we're going to need some isopropylene alcohol with a microfiber towel. Let's get started. As far as hardware included in the kit, we'll have an assortment of M6 hardware, which will be button head cap screws, washers, nuts, two different style nuts and two different washers. We will also have some double-sided tape included in each kit, and then we'll have 10 of these billet aluminum blocks, which are actually installed into the underbody for a seamless install. Does not require any drilling into the car at all. Let's get started with the install. Now, to start the install, we're going to clean the area on the side splitter, which gets the double-sided tape. We'll take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and clean this area, and this just allows the double-sided tape to adhere better to the side splitter. It is recommended to install this in a little bit warmer months, something around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, with a low humidity is best. And then we also recommend to not use the components for 2 to 3 days afterwards to ensure that the best adhesion with the mud flap, which is where it will go, basically happens with the side splitter. So basically that gives the best chance of the double-sided tape to adhere to the car. So we're gonna go with that route. We're going to apply some of this double-sided tape right now to the side splitter. Now that the double-sided tape is installed, we're going to work on the hardware, and really it's quite easy to get this hardware started. We're going to start by threading the button head cap screw to the billet aluminum piece, and there's little cutouts on one side, and that goes away from the button head cap screw side. So this is the flat side, and we're going to install the bolt into that side, and you'll see why in a second. Then we're going to tighten that slightly, just finger tight, a little past finger tight would be great on all of these. With this unit looking like so, we're going to install the larger washer and the very thin jam nut, and these don't need to be extremely tightened down. We're going to leave a large area initially, and basically we're going to do that to all 10. I only have 5 here for this side, but we're going to do it to all 10, and then we'll basically be able to install it into the car body. Alright, now that those are all assembled, we're going to go to the underbody, and I'll show you the plugs to take off on the underbody, which we will remove for the install. You'll also probably need a razor for this part, as the paint that they put on the underbody is very thick, and we want to remove it so that it's a nice flat area. Alright, here is a shot of the underbody, and we can see that there are these rubber grommets, and there's 5 per side. Basically just reach and remove them like so. We're going to do that 4 more times along the side splitter. Alright, so we can see on this hole that there's a lot of this paint hanging down, and we're going to use a razor blade to make that flush real quickly and do that to all the other holes that need it. Some do, some don't. Alright, with the underbody paint now cleaned off this hole, we can now install this part. So we're actually going to slide the aluminum piece up in there and then you'll feel it register, which is why there's that small cutout. And then basically, while holding the bolt, we're going to tighten that nut so that when it registers, you can feel it register, the bolt no longer moves. We're going to tighten that all the way up, and then we'll actually use the 10mm wrench to fully tighten it, but currently that's where we're at. Do that 4 more times. The unit is installed currently, and we're going to quickly tighten this down. Alright, now that we have all 5 of the bolts installed and they're tightened, we're going to install the side splitter up and basically see if any of the holes don't line up. So it looks like 4 of the 5 line up, and we got this back one that kind of, the slot just isn't big enough. So we're going to open that up with a Dremel and a router bit, and we'll do that real quick right here. And you can watch what we do to get it to fit. So basically, as you can see, we opened up the slot a little bit, and hopefully it fits this time. Now it all fits. So now we'll go to installing the bolts first, and then we'll pull this down a little bit, wipe that with alcohol, and install that on the mud flap. As you can see, the side splitter is actually installed. Basically, we're going to install the smaller diameter washers first, and then the serrated nuts, and you're going to tighten that to about 4 to 6 foot-pounds. The serration should resist any backing off, and tighten it all up. And it's pretty stout already, but we're going to install this final part, which basically we're going to pull this down and remove that adhesive backing, and then we're going to double check. We're actually going to wipe this with alcohol so that it ensures that it has a nice seal as we install it. So again, with the alcohol and microfiber, wipe right where it's going to install. Try to get off any road grime. And then make sure that it's dry as well. And then as you pull down, remove the tape. And then conform the 2 units together and try and hold it for about a minute. And at that point, you've concluded the install. Now that concludes our side splitter install on the 987.1am.2. Please send any concerns, comments, and questions to sales@verus-engineering.com. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next time. Thanks.